So 2019 is almost over, and our total oil discoveries for the year have exceeded 10 billion barrels, hitting 10.4 as of this week, with an additional 350 million barrels being discovered in Russia, putting us roughly up to said 10.4 billion, and thus back into the double-digit billion discovery numbers for the first time since 2011. As from 2012 all the way through last year, our global oil discoveries each year were only in the single-digit billions, at their lowest point, one of those years only being 4 billion barrels. So for this particular year, it looks like we're going to close out with over 10 billion barrels of oil discoveries. Whether or not that will repeat itself next year, obviously we'll have to wait and see. But regardless, even though that is 2.5 times more than the 4 billion barrels per year we had gotten down to discovering, that 10.4 billion is still contrasted against the 37 billion that we have consumed this year, and the more than so that we're likely going to consume next year, and every year thereafter. So welcome back everybody to another weekly energy and resource update video, going over, as always, discoveries, updates, developments, data releases pertaining to energy and natural resources that have occurred over the course of the week, oil, gas, minerals, mining. So if you're new and you're even remotely interested in such things, then please subscribe and click on the bell icon and stick around here because this is definitely a channel for you. And new viewer or longtime viewer, if anybody wants to support me and help me keep me going in life, paypal.me link is down in the description below. You now have only 4 days left to get your name carved into a giant chunk of coal, or else anyone who donates after Christmas Day is going to have to wait all the way until next Christmas. So, going down the list through our regular weekly data, starting of course with U.S. oil production. U.S. oil production this week coming in again at 12.8 million barrels per day, down from its height a few weeks ago at 12.9. I had expected it to get up to 12.8 before the end of this year, and next year I expect it to make it up to 13.6. That will be one of many things included in my 2020 energy and resource predictions video that is coming soon. U.S. oil consumption for the week jumped back up, coming in at 21.8 million barrels per day. Individual numbers within that being gasoline consumption coming in at 9.41 million barrels per day. Diesel fuel consumption coming in at 4.12, jet fuel consumption coming in at 2.06, and U.S. propane consumption for the week averaging 1.67. And global jet fuel consumption for the week averaged 5.7 million barrels per day. U.S. crude oil inventories decreased by a bit over 1 million barrels over the course of the week, and oil prices fluctuated primarily between $59 and $62 per barrel. U.S. natural gas production dropped a bit, back under 109 billion cubic feet per day, down to 108.8. U.S. natural gas consumption for the week averaged 118 billion cubic feet per day. Individual numbers within that being heating demand coming in at 42, consumption by natural gas-fired power plants coming in at 30.5. U.S. natural gas exports on LNG tankers break records again, hitting 8 billion cubic feet per day. And consumption by the natural gas pipeline system for its own pumping system fuel coming in at 7.4. U.S. natural gas storage inventories dropping down to 3.41 trillion cubic feet in storage. In comparison to normally this time of year, they would be just slightly higher at 3.42. And last year, they were already down to 2.79. Now, unfortunately, the EIA has decided to get lazy around the holidays this year. They are not going to do weekly natural gas updates again until January 9th. So all we're going to get is the storage data updates for the next 2 weeks, unfortunately. So I apologize for that, but that's not anything I have any control over. Canadian natural gas storage inventories, which only update monthly, have dropped down to 643 billion cubic feet in storage, which is, again, still a 7+ year low. The lowest that they were at in the last 7 years was actually still up at 668 billion cubic feet. And natural gas prices primarily fluctuated between $2.25 and $2.40 per thousand cubic feet. And we got some of the monthly updates from some of the nations that update their oil consumption data monthly. China back up over 14 million barrels per day, currently averaging 14.2 million barrels per day. India's oil consumption also coming back up, now averaging 4.62 million barrels per day. Poland reaching a new consumption record, reaching 785,000 barrels per day. Chile, after reaching 400,000 for the first time a while back, is now back up and over 400,000 barrels per day, getting up to 410,000. And Iraq's oil consumption has recovered from its drop since last year, and has even now exceeded the point that it originally dropped from. Iraq's consumption rate now hitting 759,000 barrels per day. Australia, after holding at a consumption level of 1.08 million barrels per day for several months, now actually ticked back up a little bit, up to 1.1. And Turkey dropped in consumption levels down a little bit to 1.06 million barrels per day. All right, shifting over into metals. Global gold inventories decreased since last week, down to 8.68 million ounces in storage, while gold prices continue fluctuating between $1,450 and $1,500 per ounce. Silver inventories climbed up to 318 million ounces in storage before dropping back down to 317, while silver prices continue fluctuating around the $17 per ounce mark. Platinum inventories, after falling to 159,000 ounces in storage last week, remained right at 159,000, and platinum prices continue fluctuating just above $900 per ounce. Palladium inventories still remaining a little bit above 52,000 ounces in storage, and palladium prices, after almost reaching $2,000 per ounce, collapsed a little bit back below $1,900, down towards $1,800 per ounce. And rhodium reached $6,150 per ounce before losing a little bit right at the end of the week down to $6,100. In regular metals, aluminum inventories continue climbing fast, reaching 1.49 million tons in storage. And aluminum prices, after being under $1,800 per ton, have climbed back up over $1,800 per ton. Nickel inventories are done with their sudden large climb, and were climbing more gradually over the course of this week, from 122 up to 137,000 tons in storage. Nickel prices over the course of the week fluctuated around $14,000 per ton. Lead inventories are still right at 67,000 tons in storage. Granted, they have fluctuated a little bit over the course of the last few weeks by a couple hundred tons here and there, up and down. And lead prices have climbed back up over $1,900 per ton. Zinc inventories have resumed declining and have declined from 57,000 tons in storage down to just under 54,000. And zinc prices correspondingly have begun climbing again and have gone back up through $2,300 per ton. And lastly, copper. Since last month, global copper inventories have dropped from 1.41 down to 1.31 million tons in storage. And copper prices have gone back up into averaging in the $2.80 range. And there was only a little bit of rare earth movement this week. Indium, the crucial metal of indium tin oxide, which is what allows the existence of modern LCD and LED screens, dropped from 301 down to just a few cents over $300 per kilogram. Germanium, the element that allows the existence of the internet and modern communication infrastructure, as it's the dopant material for fiber optic cables, dropped from $1,954 per kilogram down to just under $1,948. And neodymium, the primary crucial material of electric motors and wind turbines and all other kind of magnetic apparatuses, declined a little bit down to just under $62 per kilogram. And I expect the rare earth prices to continue generally decreasing for a little bit longer, most likely into the early part of the upcoming year, before reversing their direction and starting to climb a bit again, somewhere probably around the middle of next year, maybe a little bit later, maybe a little bit earlier. But either way, that's it for this video. So thank you everybody for watching or listening. Please like the video if you enjoyed. Don't forget to share things around with anyone else who's interested in this kind of stuff. Don't forget to donate to get your name carved into a giant chunk of coal while you still can. PayPal.me is in the description below. Deadline for that is December 24th, 11:59 p.m. Alaskan Standard Time. Anyone who comes in after that is going to be waiting around till Christmas of next year. Other links to other videos we've done popping up on the screen now, some of the more important ones. But no matter what, may God bless you all. I will see you all around next time.